take away marriage equality, or both, whatever you want to do.
Okay, sweet. Could you define what consent is for me?
Someone saying yes or agreeing to something.
Gotcha. And do you feel like it's still within the bounds of consent if, like, over time they say yes, like at first they're like, and then over time they say yes?
Like, what do you mean?
So, like, for instance, say I was trying to get with this person next to me, right? And at first they're like a little more hesitant, but after a while they say yes. Do you think that's still consent?
Sure.
Gotcha. Second question is, what do you think, Thanksgiving or Pride Month? If you had to pick one to only celebrate for like the rest of your life, which one would you pick? That's kind of what I'm saying.
Personally, Thanksgiving.
Okay,
It's really important to my family.
Okay, gotcha. Last question is, would you rather would you rather have premarital sex or take away marriage equality?
Say that again.
Would you rather have premarital sex or take away marriage equality? Like the ability for like non-straight individuals to be married.
That's a fun question to be asking at BYU, eh?
It is.
That's actually really funny.
Question is, could you just define consent for me?
Consent?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like someone else saying something's okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Constantly.
And do you feel like if somebody was if the other person was hesitant at first but eventually said yes, do you feel like that is like within the bounds of consent?
I think if their last answer is yes, then yeah, but I think constantly like checking in and making sure is probably the right answer too.
Okay,
Just
sweet.
make sure.
Second question is, what do you think? Thanksgiving? Would you if you had to celebrate one day for the rest of your life, would it be Thanksgiving or Martin Luther King Day?
If I had to celebrate one day,
Yeah. If you only could celebrate one, like if you had to pick and you couldn't celebrate the other one anymore.
probably Thanksgiving.
Okay. The first question is, could you just define what consent is for me?
Yeah, absolutely. I think consent is all about two parties both agreeing that they're on the same page about anything. It talks about it in terms of like physical, sexual consent. Yeah.
Dope. And do you think it would be within the bounds of consent if the other person was more hesitant at first and then eventually they said yes?
I think on the situation, if it's the sort of thing where one person is really, pressured and wearing offenses, I don't think that would be considered consensual behavior.
Okay, I would agree. Second question is, if you only could celebrate one for the rest of your life, would you rather celebrate Thanksgiving or Black History Month?
Oh, great question. I think Black History Month. I think it's such an important thing for our country to recognize the struggles of the African American community as well as the triumphs that they've had.
You're the second person to say that.
Oh, no way.
Second person. I love it. Cool. Last question is, okay, would you rather drink alcohol or say the N-word?
Oh, boy. That's really rough. I can't imagine a possible situation where that would be a problem. But I guess that I would say that I would rather drink alcohol than do something so offensive.
Okay, sweet. Thank you.
Yep.
Have a good day. The first question is, could you just define what consent is for me?
Consent?
Yes.
Consent is when everyone involved agrees to something.
Cool. And do you feel like it would be within the bounds of consent to, sorry, my brain went numb.
You're good.
Would it be in the bounds of consent if somebody at first was more hesitant and then eventually they said yes?
I feel it would be, yes.
Okay, cool. Second question is, what do you think, Thanksgiving or Juneteenth? If you only could celebrate one for the rest of your life, which one would you pick?
Probably Thanksgiving. That's what my family usually celebrates.
Sweet. Last question is, what do you think? Would you rather drink alcohol or take away marriage equality?
Oh, shoot.
Yes.
Those are like the only two questions.
Only two options. Yeah, I know.
Probably drink alcohol just one time, right?
Just get drunk once.
Okay.
Okay, first question is, could y'all define what consent was for me?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's like a mutual agreement that you both should like talk about and know that like what your level of okayness is with what you're doing.
Cool. And a follow-up to that, do you think it's still within the bounds of consent if at first somebody's a little more hesitant and then eventually they are say yes? Do you feel like that's consent?
I think that if they're hesitant at first, then they should respect that and stop there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I would agree. Second question is, what do y'all think? Thanksgiving or Hispanic Heritage Month? If y'all only could celebrate one for the rest of your life, which one would y'all pick?
Oh, I would say Thanksgiving for me, just because my family is like celebrates Thanksgiving personally, but I think that in every family individually, that's like they should celebrate what they see fit for their family.
I think probably the same way. My family's celebrated Thanksgiving. It means something to me because that's what I grew up celebrating. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Last question is, would y'all rather have premarital or golly, I can't speak. Would y'all rather have premarital sex or take away marriage equality? Like the ability for non-straight individuals to be married.
Oh wow,
Yes.
that's a big question.
Yes. What do y'all think?
Well, that's one of those questions that you can't really give an answer to. We believe in not having premarital sex, obviously.
But we also believe in the right for people to get married.
So we're just gonna pick both.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you. First question is, could you just define consent for me?
Consent is like asking permission to do something, I guess.
Yeah. Cool. And do you feel like it would be within like the bounds of consent if at first the other person was more hesitant, but then eventually they're like yes?
I don't think it also kind of depends because like that could be seen as like coercion a little bit. So it's like you have to make sure, but also at the same time it's like I don't know. It's I guess it just depends on the situation. So
Okay, gotcha. Second question is, what do you think? Thanksgiving or Black History Month? If you only could celebrate one for the rest of your life, which one would you celebrate?
Black History Month.
First man to say that. Okay, last question is, would you rather have premarital sex or hit a dog with a car?
Oh boy.
What do you think?
Neither. Honestly,